those are toxic ways. This is just like Cancer. God, these are both toxic ways of dealing with people. But the overall energy in this to know is that there's a recipe to success and the purpose in that.
Watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, light the show. Watch them grow.
Hello, Leo. Princess India here for the 99 and the 2000 and whatnot, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to your October reading. So I'm going to go ahead and start with you guys. Pick a card for the extended. You can pick card 1, 2, or 3. And in the extended, we extend the spread and we make it a little bit more specific from the general energies that we pick up on YouTube. So in the event that you feel like you need something a little more specific, you know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and go over to the extended and listen for your group and what's not, or whatever. So go ahead and pick that card, and I'm going to tell you guys about what I picked up for you intuitively. It's kind of straight to the point, but in so many words, what it feels like for me that's going to be important for Leo this month is how you're perceiving things. It feels good. I mean, I feel that something good is coming for you all, but I don't want to necessarily say blessing in disguise, but I feel, and I wouldn't even say that you guys would necessarily miss the opportunity. It's just this month, for whatever reason, just don't take things for face value, right? But meaning that in a sense of, because usually if you say don't take something for face value, you're usually inferring that, you know, on the outside it looks super dope, but underneath it is worse. I feel for you guys, it's in the reverse. So it's like, because something may be a little harder to achieve, or because you have to put a little bit more energy into something than usual, or it's not prepackaged, ready-made type of deal, or it's something that you happen upon, like someone gives it to you and you didn't necessarily earn it. And this is me totally reaching, but it would be like, you know, if, I don't know, you inherit a house or something and you're like, oh, I don't want it because I got it too easily. It's like, it's a lot better than you think. It's just not coming in the package that you expected. So if in the beginning something seems to be less than stellar, it's like, look a little deeper. You know what I mean? I mean, I hope you know what I mean. But it's all about perspective. It's all about how it is that you're looking at it. And it's understanding that even if it's a disappointment in every negative situation, there's always like a nugget of truth or something positive that you can take out of it to help you on your journey going forward. So if you picked card number 1, we have forgiveness. If you picked card number 2, we have confusion. That's appropriate. And if you pick card number 3, we have abundance. So let's go ahead and jump into you guys' cards for the 99 and the 2000. I'm so extra, y'all. But yeah, but that's mainly what I'm feeling. It's just, you know, how you're perceiving things. Our perception is usually always based on our past experiences with things. And I just feel that a past view of a present situation can kind of cloudy it to where you won't see it for the potential that it could really offer you. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's go ahead and pull these cards for you all. Your central energy for October, Leo. Ooh, is the World card, a new cycle. Stepping out, strutting and things. You know what I'm saying? This is challenged by the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. Very interesting. Past influence, we have the 10 of Wands. So we're doing in the reverse. So y'all are doing well so far. We have the Queen of Pentacles. I see where this is going. Above energy, we have Je Devil. And the sun is already about to start getting on our nerves. And going forward, we have the 2 of Pentacles. Leo, I can tell you right now, y'all reading is probably going to be really quick. So what's happening is energetically, in October, you guys are coming into a new cycle. It's similar to how it is that I felt with Cancer and the fact that you guys are dealing with past residue. The energy that you guys are wanting to align with, and I'm not going to say wanting to, but would behoove you to align with, would be that of the Queen of Pentacles. So it's more or less whatever it is you feel is lacking that you guys want to receive in your life. It's doing something counterintuitive in giving that which you guys desire to receive. Now, looking at the challenge with the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse, it's I feel like you guys aren't giving much. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily saying that you're being selfish, but it's more or less this could manifest as focusing too much on material achievement or having nice things or making sure that your money is straight and like completely neglecting your spiritual life, or it could be in the reverse for you all. Another thing that I really feel with this is that it feels very people oriented to me. It's more or less like say if you guys have a habit of being a people pleaser, right? And I'm seeing this, come on, don't do me like we did Pisces reading because we'll be here all day. So I'm seeing this as two different ways. It's the same energy, but there's two different groups of people that are manifesting this energy differently. There's some of you who life, work, whatever has become cumbersome because it's been giving too much. And this is where the similarity lies. It's been putting in too much work, like people pleasing, making sure everyone else is straight, and making the decision to cut that off. I know they got some Cancer Leo cusps in here because this is reminiscent of Cancer's energy. But it's like it's cutting people off completely, and now I'm not giving at all, right? And that's more or less a self-protection mechanism. But all in all, we're coming into a new cycle, but regardless of what side of the fence you fall on, this needs to be addressed going forward, because the energy that's going to behoove you guys moving forward is more of a balanced energy. So it's more or less what we're talking about here is learning how to establish boundaries. My people on the other side of this are people who are still overgiving. So it's like you guys are investing too much into situations or working too hard on something that isn't giving you a return in so many ways. And I feel with that, for my first group that I was talking about, I feel like with you guys, you've released the burden, and it's like you're taking care of yourself. You making sure you straight, and you're focusing on what it is that's going to benefit you. That's cool, but coming into this new cycle, that needs to be counterbalanced. Now, for my other group of people, it's a people pleasing that you guys are still in, and it's becoming cumbersome because there's parts of your life that are being neglected because you're doing too much for other people. So you're investing in other people, making other people happy, helping other people out, which is totally cool, but it's a self-sacrificial thing that's happening here. So for the second group of people, what I'm feeling for you guys is there's a need to more or less step into your power. It's understanding and knowing that people are coming to you because you have something to contribute that adds to people, but it's needing to learn how to establish boundaries to prevent yourself from being taken advantage of. Now, what I'm saying with this, at the root of it with you guys, it feels more or less, and this is so much like Cancerian energy. It's creepy because I literally feel like I'm saying the same thing in a different way. It's more or less like it's an old way of relating to people, or feeling that a false belief that this is what one has to do in order to succeed, or this is what one has to do in order to be successful. But the whole purpose of why this is coming up is because of the devil energy being in you guys' conscious energy. It's more or less God, how am I trying to say this? I'm trying to say this in a way where I don't literally sound like I'm saying the same thing that I said with Cancer, because this is very much the same, but it's understanding the art of reciprocity, as I guess is the best way that I could put it. It's understanding the art of reciprocity, because on either side, God, this is so much like Cancer. On either side, it's literally that you're not giving enough or you're giving too much, right? But the thing is that I feel with the people who aren't giving enough, that's what's impeding your progress. So it's like the people who are like very self-focused, and you're focused on your goal and you're not allowing people to come in to kind of throw stuff off. It's more or less what's killing you guys progress, is the fact that this is whatever it is you guys are trying to achieve. It's not something that can be done alone, because there's a very specific, well, I'm not going to say it's specific, but there's a recipe to success. And it's like, it's learning how to delegate. And I would say that on both sides. It's like whether it's a person who is self-reliant or it's a person who isn't focusing on themselves at all. Both of those are toxic ways. This is just like Cancer, God. These are both toxic ways of dealing with people. But the overall energy in this to know is that there's a recipe to success, and the purpose in that is creating boundaries. So if there's you not giving at all, whatever it is that you're trying to receive, you want to give that, right? So if you're stockpiling a whole bunch of money, donate to an organization or something to break up that energy, because the energy is very much stagnated. And then for those of you who overgive, it's understanding how to delegate when to help other people and when not to help other people. Or when you're helping a person and it's becoming too much to where you're focusing more on the other people than yourself. You know what I mean? It's understanding that cutoff point. Y'all, I'm gonna have to clarify this, like for real, because this sounds, I'm not gonna use this deck, I'm gonna use another deck. This sounds so much like Cancer. It literally does not make sense. I swear to God, this is how I'm seeing it. It's the same exact energy that I'm seeing with Cancer. If you're a Cancer Leo cusp, that would totally make sense. But this is the same thing. It's just the scenario is different. Just so ironic. The only thing with you guys is there is no shakeup in so many words. That's bananas. I can't sit here and say the same thing again. Okay, we have the Strength in reverse, challenged by the Ten of Cups. Past influence. We have the Sun in reverse. Oh, that's very interesting. Magician in reverse. Going forward. The Seven of Swords in the reverse. And above energy, we have the Two of Swords. Okay, this is interesting. That makes sense. All right. So what I'm seeing is here, to make this a little bit more specific so I can trump this Cancer energy a little bit. We are talking about relating to people from an unhealthy way, because the Strength in reverse for me is, it's pseudo power in so many words. It's not standing in authentic power where you're coming from more or less like your sacral, like the authenticity of your truth. It's not necessarily coming from that place. So it's either we're manifesting this as people pleasing and codependency and relating to people that way, or as aggression and domination, right? So the whole thing is what we're talking about coming into this month, looking at this world and looking at this Ten of Cups, what we're really talking about, and this is still like Cancer, good Lord, this is a whole nother deck. It's you guys aligning with your idea of true happiness and fulfillment. It's like, what does personal wholeness, what does full-on happiness, what does fulfillment look like for Leo, right? But it's understanding that the only block that there has ever been of getting there is the fact that we're not operating from a grounded place of authenticity, right? It's on both sides, whatever group you fall in, it's operating from a place of fear. For the people who may be more, aggressive and self-reliant, not needing help, that's still fear-based in the sense that in the past, I was taken advantage of, or people didn't help me, so I'm going to do it on my own. Or if it's people who are overgiving and trying to keep everybody happy and not relating to your own happiness, it's valuing people or putting them on a pedestal above your own needs, and it's not dealing with self. It's not ever asking or feeling that you have the right for other people to meet your needs. So the energy you guys are coming out of with the Sun in the reverse from the past is a half-hearted happiness energy, right? So any blocks that you guys are feeling right now mentally, or not being able to, just so much like Cancer, not being able to see a way forward, that's because Spirit is trying to bring this into your awareness. Because with the Magician in the reverse, it's an unhealthy way or a manipulative way of dealing with people. Now, let me clarify that when I say a manipulative way. And it's making me think about a card that's actually in this deck. And I'm not going to dig through the deck. I'm just going to pull the book where I got you guys energies from. This energy that I'm seeing with Leo is very much like the trickery card. And I mean, rightfully so, we have the freaking Seven of Swords. What we're really talking about here is asking for what it is that you want, right? That's the card I'm talking about. And the little tidbit that it says is the tempter is as guilty as the thief. But I'll just read you the story really quick. It says, Kelly the Green Dragon has one jumbo-sized acorn to get him through winter. Squirrel spies the huge acorn and decides he just has to have it to win the forest annual acorn contest. To tempt Kelly, he fills a basket with rocks and scatters the tiny acorns he has collected on top. Kelly feels the weight of the basket and steals it, allowing Squirrel to grab the single acorn, but they both lose. Kelly now has less food and Squirrel is disqualified from the contest for cheating. So this is a perfect illustration of what I'm saying because it's showing a dyad of two different people still. It's like one person is like, self-sufficient and, I'm trying to get what it is that I need, right, from this person, right? So it's like the dragon that has the giant acorn. And he's thinking like, why have the giant acorn when I can have a whole bunch of little acorns? And this is where it kind of goes into that digging deeper thing. It's like they were just acorns on top. Underneath it, it was a dud. It was like rocks underneath it, right? So he got duped. Now, with the squirrel is like, greedy in a sense that it's like he's trying to move forward in so many words. So it's like taking advantage of the dragon's weakness and the fact that he wants, more like a bigger quantity of things, right? And the squirrel wants to, be in the spotlight and say, hey, everybody, look at me and this giant acorn. Yeah, y'all got these kind of acorns, but mine is huge. But they both end up losing in the end. So my whole point with this is not necessarily saying that Leo is in a situation to where it's two people that are screwing over each other, but using the dragon and the squirrel as an illustration for the two groups of Leos that are coming up for me. And it's the simple fact that the motivation, the squirrel and the dragon's motivation were both, magician in reverse type of motivations. It was Seven of Swords self-deception type of motivations. So it's more or less trying to get my needs met without being direct in my methods of achieving them is the point that I'm trying to get at here. But the thing that Spirit is bringing to the surface is the fact that you may be at a state now to where you have a little bit of what you want or you're managing or you're maintaining. But the thing is the message is that you can have more than that, if that makes sense. You don't have to settle for less than. But the reason why you guys are in a position to where you have to settle for less than is because the place that you're coming from is a place of, I don't want to say insecurity because that can be taken kind of out of context, but it's an unstable, insecure place. So it's being afraid to ask for what you want or being afraid to ask for what you need because on both sides, it's the false core belief that those needs won't be met. So it's going about getting needs met in like a, I don't know, like a diversion kind of way. You know what I mean? Instead of just stating what it is. And the whole purpose of why I'm saying all of this is because the lesson in all of this is the fact that it's the reason why we're doing that, if that makes sense. It's the fact that all of this is happening to bring to the surface or bring into your awareness. God, I hope this is making sense, Leo, because I'm so struggling. Is to bring into your awareness the fact that you guys are not being 100 and getting your needs met. And the question is, why is that? Why is this strength card in the reverse? Why is it that I feel like I don't need people? Or why is it that I feel like I have to overcompensate in order to get my needs met? Why is it that I can't just say, hey, squirrel? It's like, do you want to trade my giant acorn for all of your little acorns instead of having to, kind of beat around the bush in order to get needs met? The purpose of this is for you guys to stand in this Queen of Pentacles energy to know that other people have things to offer and I have things to offer. But if it's something that I'm lacking, it's not saying that I'm less than because I have a need. It's just saying, hey, I don't have this, you do. Can we work together? And that there's nothing wrong with that. I hope and pray to God that makes sense. But the other thing I feel like I have to say with that again is that's more or less a recipe for success. It's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, me giving a little, me taking a little. It's like working in accordance with people in a synchronistic sense is the recipe for success. Over giving isn't and under giving isn't. It's a balance, give and take, and a fluidity, if that's making sense. I really hope that makes sense. I really hope it does, Leo. I don't know if it does. I'm scared for this extended dagnabbit. So you can ask a yes or no question if you like. Man, that's confusing as hell. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I feel like I have to keep explaining myself when something doesn't even make sense to me. I guess it's like all in all is this month, the situations you guys find yourself in, The purpose of every challenge you face this month is to uncover in which ways you guys have been unintentionally deceiving yourself, if that makes sense, and how that's been the true block that's been holding you back. Because it's like toxic methods or maladaptive methods that one has been using to get authentic needs met, but it's all fear-based. I hope and pray to God that that's making sense. The purpose is to step into your power, Leo. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I keep saying that, but whatever. Don't judge me. Moving right along. So the answer to your question is yes. We have Pisces, we have Crush, we have Cancer, and we have Rising. So Pisces, Cancer, Rising, Crush, and the answer to your question is yes. And let's go ahead and throw the dice that have on it. But all in all, I mean, it's good. It's just that the whole basis of this is Spirit trying to get you guys to recognize the problem so you can stop operating in pseudo power and step into authentic power that comes from within. So it's everything that you're doing now to get your needs met is unnecessary. But the reason why you're at a pause in your life is because like you cannot go into the new cycle relating to things like this, if that makes sense. I hope it does. I've said that like 50 times. Don't judge me. Y'all gonna be talking about me in the comments. All right, let's see. We have Mercury. We have the number 4 and Capricorn. So let's see. For Mercury, it says, mind and communication. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You are a messenger. What have you been communicating? So we're looking at this from the perspective of if your life is a message, what message are you sending to the world, and do you want that to be your gospel truth? So looking back at how you maneuver, like, and I don't know why I need to say this like this, but it's like if we looked at this illustratively, if, you know, I was a big movie producer and I came to you right now and I said, hey, you know, you'll never have to worry about money for the rest of your life, right? If you let us make this movie about your life. But, you know, we're going to write it authentic. We're going to write it real. So from the day that you were born all the way up until now, we're going to tell your entire story, what happened behind the scenes and everything, right? Would you be comfortable with that, right? Would you be okay with people seeing that story? And what message, like, what do you think the moral of the story would be up until this very point in your life? Like, say they stopped filming everything that happened up until yesterday, all the way back until the day that you were born. What would be that message to the world? What lessons would people learn from your life? And looking at it now and taking your power and utilizing your will, it's like going forward, if you don't like that story, what story would you want to rewrite? How would you want to rewrite your story moving forward through the choices that we're making, right? Because whether we're on, you know, a literal stage of us being, you know, being in the public eye or being an actor, celebrity, a speaker, an author, that's irrelevant. It's like, regardless if you're actually in the public eye, every single one of us that are alive, we have our own little stage. So whether we're aware of it or not, our life is always communicating a message to everyone that we encounter. But the thing that you guys would want to be clear on this month is what is that message that I'm communicating, if that makes sense. I'm repeating myself a lot, Leo, don't judge me. So your arcana to meditate on for this month is the Emperor. And it says structure and order, master builder, and stability. And that's kind of going back to what we were saying here. It's about you guys building a life that is in alignment with your truth. But it's with Cancer, it was more about them rebuilding a foundation. But with you guys, it's more for me of clarifying a foundation. It's like you guys have been operating on a foundation, but do you know what kind of bricks you've laid down? Do you know what kind of ground you're standing on? And have you ever questioned if this is the type of foundation you want to build your life on, right? So for you guys, it's more or less turning around and analyzing what it is that you've built up to this point and seeing if it's a true, honest reflection of your truth, in so many words, since you have a break in building, because I don't know, the weather's bad. I don't know. But Leo, that has been your reading. I know y'all gonna tell me what y'all think in the comments. I don't know if it makes sense. I never feel like any of these make sense, but we're gonna go over to Vimeo. So if you're about that life, follow me over there, and we're gonna get into you guys 3 groups and extend the spread out over there. But if not, I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later. I feel hella overwhelmed with the energy because it feels like 1,000 things happening at once to where you can't necessarily think clearly. People who are on the cusp of Cancer and Leo. Some of y'all are borderlining on burnout. Some of you guys who've just completely checked out. For my group 3 people, it could be very much like financial related. For my group 2 people, it's like a war in your head. For my group 2. For my group 1 people, it has a lot to do with self-forgiveness.